because I think Floyd at his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter.
Floyd Mayweather, with all the tools that Terence Crawford has, I will pick Terence Crawford to beat a prime Mayweather.
A lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Max Kellerman breaks down why a dream fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather would be a spectacle worth every fan's attention. He applauds Crawford as the most dominant, undisputed fighter of today, while giving full credit to Floyd's unparalleled reign during his prime. Kellerman points out how Mayweather's defensive genius made him nearly untouchable, creating a blueprint for boxing excellence. On the other hand, Crawford's versatility, timing, and ruthless finishing ability make him the face of dominance in this era. For Kellerman, this clash would embody the ultimate best of both worlds. Mayweather's impenetrable defense versus Crawford's dynamic offense, a mythical matchup fans would treasure forever.
At his best was a better defensive fighter than Crawford. Crawford's a better offensive fighter, but in those kind of matchups, I think defense usually beats the offense.
I don't. Because Terence Crawford got more to bring. He got more to bring to the table.
He's a great fighter.
Floyd Mayweather got the little shoulder roll. I get it. Controls distance. But Terence Crawford is also a master at distance. Terence Crawford has punching power to hurt Floyd Mayweather. We saw that. In the Sam Tudor fight now.
Yeah, Shane too. Shane hurt him with the right hand.
Shane hurt him as well.
Yep.
And did he fight Shane? But did Floyd fight Shane in his prime? Do you think he fought him in his prime?
Sean Porter dives into the never-ending debates between Crawford and Mayweather, stressing that comparisons sometimes overshadow what makes each fighter special. He explains that people instinctively lean toward Mayweather simply because his name carries the weight of an undefeated legacy. However, Porter challenges that automatic bias, urging fans to give Crawford the credit he deserves for carving his own history. To Porter, Mayweather is the OG, the pioneer who set the gold standard for dominance. But that doesn't diminish Crawford's extraordinary rise. Instead, he reminds everyone that these two fighters shine brightest in their own eras, each standing tall as a symbol of excellence.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in the fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that fight.
Yes, sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah, he's
a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in that shit.
The funny thing about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Everybody else,
There's an OG somewhere.
You gotta pioneer it, right? Yeah, you gotta.
There's an OG you can't outfigure out somewhere, and I just believe Floyd is that OG you can't outfigure out.
Terence Crawford has addressed these comparisons directly with a statement that reflects both humility and confidence. He openly acknowledges Floyd Mayweather as the greatest of his generation, a fighter whose dominance reshaped the sport. Yet, Crawford firmly asserts that this is his time, and in this era, he's the one setting new standards for greatness. For Crawford, greatness shouldn't be measured by hypothetical fantasy fights, but by recognizing the fighter who reigns supreme in each era. This balanced view reveals not only Crawford's respect for history, but also his thoughtful mindset, proving he's a champion inside and outside the ring.
Everyone is going to start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going out that much.
No.
Crawford has made it clear that chasing Floyd Mayweather is not part of his agenda. While fans love to imagine the showdown, Crawford distances himself from the fantasy, explaining he has no desire to chase or defeat a retired legend. Instead, his energy is focused on closing out his career on his own terms, not on rewriting Mayweather's. This stance shows maturity and perspective, a man intent on building his legacy without standing in another's shadow. For Crawford, it's not about dethroning yesterday's king, but about cementing his place in history with dignity and purpose.
Have you thought about going for 51-0, beating Mayweather's record with 50-0? Is that something that you thought about?
I already said I wasn't never gonna beat Mayweather record. That's not something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
To be honest, I was gonna retire if I didn't get this Errol Spence fight.
Crawford points to Canelo, Alvarez's voice as significant, since Canelo is one of the rare fighters who has faced both him and Mayweather in the ring. When Canelo claims that Crawford is the better fighter, it resonates because it comes from lived experience. Even so, Crawford remains gracious, reinforcing that Mayweather was the best in his time, while acknowledging it is now his turn to carry the mantle of greatness. This balance between Canelo's candid view and Crawford's humility adds depth to the conversation, showing that respect across generations is as important as outside validation in defining true greatness.
One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always love watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Crawford strengthens his stance by openly calling Mayweather a legend, leaving no doubt about the respect he holds for him. He emphasizes that Floyd's era is permanently stamped in boxing history, an era defined by unmatched dominance. At the same time, Crawford frames his own journey as a distinct chapter, a chance to create a different kind of legacy. By refusing to fuel unnecessary rivalries, Crawford uplifts the sport itself, showing that greatness can take many forms. His approach dismantles divisive comparisons and instead invites fans to celebrate the brilliance of both eras.
I know.
6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis. Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Chris Algieri adds a thoughtful angle to the conversation, pointing out the difficulty of comparing to fighters from different eras. He notes that debates over who's the greatest often spiral endlessly because there are too many factors: unique opponents, evolving styles, and changing circumstances. Algieri suggests that instead of trying to crown a single king, fans should celebrate the fact that both Crawford and Mayweather are rare generational talents. His perspective reminds us that obsessing over one definitive answer can actually distract from appreciating the brilliance that both men have brought to the sport.
And no, the discussion about, because Canelo was asked this question, who's better, Floyd or Crawford, and he immediately went to Crawford. Now, is that recency bias? Is that him protecting his own performance? Is that a veiled shot at Floyd? Probably all of the above. Is it really true? I don't know. And I think Crawford had a great answer. He goes, well, we're different eras. Floyd was, the best of his era. I'm the best of mine, which is a very diplomatic way to go about it. But listen, comparing the two is going to be an endless barbershop conversation that's going to go back and forth over literally the annals of time. I don't think we're ever going to be able to have a distinct argument where you're going to say, this is it. I actually want to do a video where I argue both sides with the same veracity and veracity, because there is that much about it, and you can, which is an awesome thing, because this is going to be the barbershop. Like, yeah, well, Rocky Marciano or Joe Louis. Well, he knocked out Joe Louis. Yeah, but he's 170. Like, we're gonna. That's the conversation.
127 years old.
In real time with guys that we've all seen, literally overlapping errors. So those discussions will always be there. It's great fodder. It's great barbershop debate. In the debate, it's debate.
Yeah,
it's going to be subjective.
I agree.
I think objectively, I don't think there's a way to really separate.
Yeah, I agree. And I prefer, as I was thinking about it, like, wow, I can't believe I've watched the Floyd era, the Crawford era, the Usyk era. It's like I've gotten to see some really great fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in the 90s when boxing was, everybody was going head to head. There wasn't a guy that stood out like Floyd, Crawford, and Usyk, where it was super, super dominant.
Trainer Robert Garcia highlighted just how impressive Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez really was. He emphasized Crawford's combination of power, precision, and composure, which allowed him to execute flawlessly against one of boxing's biggest stars. Garcia explained that the win was no accident, but the result of preparation, intelligence, and undeniable skill. In his eyes, Crawford's dismantling of Canelo further solidifies him as one of the sport's all-time greats. Coming from a respected trainer, this praise validates Crawford's place in history and demonstrates the wide respect he has earned from seasoned voices in boxing.
That you gave Crawford a really good chance. Of course. Did you see on Saturday night exactly why you gave him that chance?
I think so. You know, he's very talented. He's a very disciplined fighter also. He's healthy. And, you know, a lot of people were saying, oh, well, he hasn't fought or he didn't look too good against Madrimov at 154. How can he look good? He's a talented fighter. And that challenge for him pushed him even harder to train harder and to be better. That challenge, you know, went up against Canelo, moving up 2 divisions, hearing that people are saying, oh, he didn't look too good against Madrimov, so how could he look good at 68? Well, that motivated more, man. He trained hard. He did what he had to do. I you know, like I always said, you know, I wasn't going to put money on it because it's also very dangerous. Like Canelo's a beast, strong. So I never really, you know, I wasn't going to put money on it, but I did give him a chance. He's got talent, man. He's got skills, and what he did was unbelievable, man. You know, we were there was another show that we do with Boxing Scene, and we had it right before the fight, at 4:00 before the main card started, and they asked me, "What's your final prediction?" I said, "You know what? I'm gonna say it, Crawford by decision." You know, because I talked to Bomac on Thursday night. They're in Vegas, and he seemed very positive, motivated. So that kind of gave me a little extra. You know what? My final prediction is Crawford by decision, and he pulled it off.
Veteran analyst Teddy Atlas dissected Crawford's performance with his trademark depth, pointing to his calmness and unique vision inside the ring. He praised Crawford's jab, describing it as precise, tactical, and disruptive. Atlas also compared the timelines of Canelo's fights against Mayweather and Crawford. When Floyd beat Canelo, the Mexican star was young and inexperienced. By the time Crawford fought him, Canelo was battle-tested, yet still outclassed. Atlas noted the age factor too, reminding fans that Floyd was 40 when he fought Canelo, while Crawford was nearly 38 when he toppled him. This context highlights the magnitude of Crawford's achievement and why it stands apart in boxing.
You know, but he's not digital. There's only a few guys that are digital. What do I mean by that? He's not Crawford. What do I mean by that? Where does it separate? Instincts, eyes, calmness, the mind wonders. I know the body wondered. I saw the combinations. Canelo's throwing one at a time, and Crawford's hitting him with 3, 4, 5 shots. He put them together. He's controlling the range. Yes, he had the reach advantage. Yes, he used it. He used the jab. He controlled the reach. But it's more than that. It's the mind at work. He's more advanced. He sees things. He's calm in an uncommon environment, calmer than most. So calm he'll see things others don't see. Just a millisecond. I was explaining this to Stephen A. the day before. Just a millisecond before someone else sees it, he sees it. And he's got the mental control, the confidence, the supreme confidence Customato talked about. He said he only saw 2 fighters with that. Teddy Atlas, Teddy, I only saw 2 fighters with supreme confidence. Sugar Ray Robinson, greatest fighter of all time, and Muhammad Ali, where they don't believe you can beat him. That's Crawford. All of that together, mixed together, makes a perfect cocktail of supremeness, of greatness, of another level, of digital. And that's what he sees things, he reacts to it. He sees a twitch.
Perhaps the most powerful voice in the debate comes from Canelo Alvarez himself. Having shared the ring with both Mayweather and Crawford, his judgment carries unparalleled weight. Canelo openly admitted that Crawford is the better fighter, a statement rooted in direct experience rather than speculation. This acknowledgement adds undeniable legitimacy to Crawford's case, reinforcing the idea that his skills and accomplishments define him as one of the greatest of this generation. When a fighter of Canelo's caliber makes such an admission, it's not just an opinion, it's testimony from inside the ropes.
I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather. We already know, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try my best tonight, and I just cannot figure out the style.
Was it something specific, the movement or his speed or power, or what? Was there something you could put your finger on that gave you the most trouble?
Everything.
Okay.
He have everything. You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He know how to move and everything.
Following Crawford's dominant triumph over Canelo, comparisons with Mayweather intensified to a whole new level. Many now argue that while Floyd's undefeated record remains untouchable, Crawford's accomplishments across multiple weight divisions stand as equally historic. By becoming undisputed in more than one class and unifying for belts, Crawford achieved something even Mayweather never did. This distinction puts him on a level many believe is parallel, if not superior, to Floyd's. In doing so, Crawford has carved out his place in boxing history, ensuring his name will forever be mentioned alongside the very best the sport has ever seen.
After last night's match between Crawford and Canelo, I am not gonna lie, that boy Crawford up there with Floyd. The way he went toe-to-toe with a heavy hitter like Canelo is actually crazy, bro. And this is probably one of Crawford's best fights. Like, he was super sharp. Like, dude was super sharp, super clean, and he stayed in that pocket. People talking about that Crawford was running. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't look like he was running to me. It looked like he was taking them hits on the chin. I mean, for God's sakes, bruh. He got stung in the head, took himself to the hospital. Like, dude, real live like that. And I know that, Floyd, he real live, he a good boxer. Floyd is actually one of my favorite boxers. But Crawford is now becoming one of my favorite boxers because he's very, skillful. The technicality of him and just the decisions he makes in that ring, bro, to get up on a scoreboard is crazy. And he's not like one of them fighters like how Shakur, he boxes for points. And that's cool. That's the way boxing's supposed to go, I guess. But Terence, you can get that from him, but you can also get that aggressiveness when he in that pocket and he throwing a couple hooks and trying to take you out. But I will say, Canelo even said it. He said, bruh, he thinks that Crawford is way better than Floyd. And they asked him, like, why would you, think that? He just said everything he does is different. I can't understand the style of boxing he had. And he was saying that he's good at everything when it comes to the ring. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, Canelo is not lying. Like, Crawford is like that, bruh. I'm not gonna lie, to stand toe-to-toe with Canelo, that actually is crazy because everybody knows he's a heavy hitter. Like, he's a knockout artist. But yeah, he definitely deserves it, bro. That boy Crawford 42-0. And I don't know why he's even thinking about retiring, but you gotta pass up Floyd. I'm not gonna lie, you need to get some more semis under your belt because if you pass up Floyd, that's when the rumblings are gonna really be like, oh yeah, he's the best. I don't think he's gonna retire. I think that he still go, fight it out.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and like this video and stay tuned for more like this.